To achieve isolation on a 485 circuit, isolation devices are usually required, such as optocoupler isolators, magnetic isolators, isolation chips, etc. Optocoupler isolation communication speed is low, so high-speed optocoupler is generally chosen for 485 isolation. Optocoupler isolation occupies a large PCB area, but the cost is low. In the integrated 485 isolation chip, the isolation chip and the 485 level conversion chip are integrated together, such as TI's ISO 1410, ADI's ADM 2483, etc. This solution occupies the smallest PCB area, has a moderate communication rate, and can meet most applications. The dedicated digital isolation chip has a fast communication speed and occupies a smaller PCB area than the optocoupler, but the cost is relatively high. In addition, the isolation chip with power supply integrates the isolation power function to realize power isolation and signal isolation in the chip. The chip can provide 3.3V or 5V power supply to the outside world, and the output current can reach 10 to 100 milliamperes, which can power the general 485 level conversion chip. So how should 485 isolation be implemented? First, choose an appropriate isolator. For example, ADI's ADM 2483, TI's ISO 3082, etc. These isolators usually integrate an RS485 transceiver and an isolated power supply and can provide isolation voltages up to 2500 V. Secondly, the isolator requires two independent power supplies, one for the circuit before isolation, such as MCU, and one for the circuit after isolation, such as RS485 bus. In terms of interface, RS485 usually requires a 120 ohm terminal resistor to suppress signal reflection. In addition, TDS diodes and magnetic beads can be added to prevent electrostatic discharge and filter out high-frequency noise. In order to reduce electromagnetic interference, the A and B lines of RS485 should be run together as much as possible and as far away from high-speed or high-current signal lines as possible. In the software, you need to correctly set the working mode of the RS485 transceiver, such as half duplex or full duplex, and set the data rate, data bits, stop bits, and parity bits as needed.